Welcome to What's What. I'm your host, Benji, obviously, because we all need a catchphrase. And behind the camera is producer Josh. How's it going?
It's good, man. Like 20, 22, 23,000 cases today of Omicron. Omicron. I can't pronounce that right. Omicron.
Omicron variant.
The rapidly spreading Omicron variant. The Omicron variant.
And yet I still have the flu. No, I don't. I just have a slight cough, but I've been tested 3 times in the past week. And yet I still do not have COVID. So you know, I celebrated another test of negativity, and I went to go get some yumcha, and I feel like so because my body can't handle oil. So, you know, as you do. So yeah, how's your day?
It was good. Just working from home, you know. Yeah.
Yes. Welcome to Omicron. We're going to have this party. Let's go straight into it. You have to give me accessibility for me to share my screen.
All right, we should have done this earlier, but
it was like,
what do I need to do? Oh yeah, here we go. There you go. All right, Benji, tell me what's happening, man. Tell me what's happening in the world.
What's happening? All right, we're gonna start off today as like a little quick fire round. We should have some quick fire music of some sort in the background while we do this. But you know, as you do, today let's start off with like Floyd Mason. He's fighting this Friday. He's fighting Friday, as we all know. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. He's going to get Vikas Singh. And this is a very important fight for Floyd Mason as he's starting to break into the more international market as he tries to climb up those international rankings, especially now that he's recognized with the WBC. Also on the card, we've got Billy Limove. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Billy Limove. He's so you know, Floyd Mason is New Zealand born that lives in Australia. Billy Limove is also New Zealand born that lives in Australia, and he's going for the Australasian middleweight title. So yeah, it's happening this Friday. It's certainly something that we need to keep an eye on. Hopefully, and Angelo, I should really actually contact him and see how to pronounce his name properly. Angelo will televise his show on YouTube like he did with the Floyd Mason and Mark Flanagan show. So fingers crossed, we'll find out later. Next thing that's going to be coming up soon is on Saturday. We talked about this not so long ago as well. We've got the Waikato Falefehi. Again, I apologize for the mispronunciation. He recently won the Australasian heavyweight title. The New Zealander is making his return. Also, Willis Meehan is returning on the same card. And yeah, that's happening on this Saturday. So that's exciting. Not too long away, obviously, next Friday, Craig Thompson has his show with David Tui Tupo facing Mo Hussein. That's these guys have fought in kickboxing before, and now they're fighting in professional boxing. It's happening at ABA Stadium, corporate tables only. I believe tickets are still available. And I think this is two more. We've got Alex Hannon that's happening that same weekend, next weekend on Saturday. He's fighting to defend his New South Wales middleweight title. And finally, this is no New Zealanders. I thought this was very interesting to bring up. Hardman, the Herminator, he used to live in Glenfield, which is my area. He's fighting on that same day, Saturday, 12th of March, which is next week. Another thing that I found quite interesting is Jack Asis is fighting on that same card. I find that interesting because he's coming off 4 losses, and 3 of those 4 losses are by knockout. And one of those knockouts was actually done by Bowen Morgan. So, you know, I found that interesting. So yeah, and that's what's happening over the next 2 weeks. Isn't that exciting?
It is a lot of things to look forward to.
So much information in such a small amount of time. Well, this is why I'm trying to do a quick fire round so we can get so much information out there. Like, this is what. Okay. But yeah, any comments, Josh, about those last 4 things?
About Floyd Mason. So, how do you assess his opponent?
Floyd
Seems to be
Mason.
from India, lives in India, 35 years old.
interesting thing with Mason's opponent. Well, they've had a couple of great cruiserweights from India before. In fact, I think I tried to set up something with Brad Hollywood a long time ago, but it just never went through. I can't remember who I was trying to get him against, but he was highly ranked at the time. But yeah, they don't produce too bad of cruiserweights in the past, and there are the occasional, good boxers that come out of India. The most interesting thing is that he's got great fight experience. Obviously, he's won the WBC ABC silver title, which is kind of like that. It's like the second interim title, but WBC doesn't have interim apart from the world titles. They have silver titles, so that's their version of the interim title. He's fought in Australia before against Aaron Russell, but as you can see through his fight record, he's had one good win and the rest were like nice and easy ones. So in theory, Floyd should have a nice victory. But he went against Aaron Russell, who is actually a decent fighter. I mean, he defeated Nicholas Charlumbus and like multiple other New Zealanders. So, and he lost against him, but he didn't get knocked down or knocked out. So he would have a good chin on him. So that's something to look forward to. Maybe he'll get some rounds in for Floyd Mason. Ta-ta. All right. Okay. Coming in next. This is something I wanted to. Okay, there's two things I want to share. Recently, with the whole Russian invading Ukraine, this wasn't actually what I was going to originally talk about, but because I see Alina on there, what Boxrec is doing at the moment is they're putting in Ukrainian boxers on their main page to show support for Ukraine, and also kind of shows all the boxers who are saying that they're taking, I would say, a leave of absence from boxing so they could go back and fight for Ukraine. So there's I have, not that I can, oh there we go, we've got Vitaly Klitschko. I had Vladimir Klitschko the other day. I saw up there, both former world champions, as we all know. So yeah, next thing that we're going to talk about today is New Zealand Tauranga-born Cherneka Johnson. She is going for the IBF World Super Bantamweight title. If she wins, she's let's see, we've had Danielle Smith, Giovanna Perez, so she'll be the third New Zealand-born person to have, the third New Zealander to have won a world title. So yeah, I find that interesting. Have you heard of her before?
No, I haven't. Yeah, where's she from? She's from Tauranga?
Yeah,
okay,
so
but
she was
resides
born
in
Tauranga.
Melbourne.
Yeah, she most of her amateur career was in Australia. So she's been living there since like quite young. And then she made her pro debut over there. And obviously, and yeah, she won her WBA title in 2017. As you can see, she's been quite active throughout her career. Won the WIBA world title, which is one of those, at the time was a little bit more major because the major world sanctioning bodies weren't as invested into those women's fights. Well, they were actually in 2018, but back in 2015 and 14, they weren't as invested. So yeah, and she was actually ranked in IBF and WBA quite highly as well. So throughout her career, she kept busy. She fought quite some good fights. She's only got one loss in her career, which is against Shannon O'Connell for the WBA gold title, which is their own variant of another world title. Not official world title, but like a variant of it. So it's great to see her going for the IBF world title, and yeah, also quite interesting, it's on the Issac Hardman versus Michael Sarafa undercard, so which is actually what we're really wanting to see, as well as because there's this new possible thing, this new rivalry between Isaac Hardman and Andre Mikhailovich. So there's been some words here and there, so possibly a future fight, possibly. you know.
Oh, interesting. The only name I sort of recognize on Johnson's record is Shannon O'Connell, who's
Shannon O'Connell.
from Australia, right?
Yeah, so Shannon O'Connell has fought a couple of New Zealanders. She's fought Michelle Preston, who is a 2-time world title challenger, who's actually UK born as well, I should mention. Gentiana Lupi, which a lot of people thought Gentiana Lupi actually won that fight, but I went to Shannon O'Connell instead. And people have been wanting that rematch for such a long time, but just never, and like it almost got set up, but just never eventuated. And yeah, excuse me. They fought recently,
and it was a split decision as well. So okay,
so it was a very close fight. So
wow, so she must be a good fighter. I mean, I just
never
heard of her, but yeah,
top 7 in the world, and Boxrec number 2 in IBF, and I believe she reached 6 in the WBA at one point. So
and what's Melissa's record?
Melissa's record is 12-2-1. I believe she's 3rd or 4th in the 4th in the world, 3rd in Mexican.
From Mexico,
so.
okay.
Yeah, so it's a good Mexico versus Australian/New Zealand.
Oh, okay, so this is
a showdown.
Okay, I'm looking plus it's on a big card as well. The Zafara.
On April 20th.
Okay.
And it's going to be televised, I believe. Well, I hope it's televised for such a big fight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay,
and potentially a clash between Issac Hardman versus Andre Mikhailovich in the future.
Well, yeah, there was like Andre has called out Issac Hardman. Hardman was like, I don't even know this guy. So there's been a war of words across social media as well. So, you know, maybe it's another one of those Alex Hannon versus Andre Mikhailovich sort of talking and see how things go. But yeah, next thing, going into Dylan Andrews, who is the first New Zealander to fought in MMA with the UFC, first New Zealander to fight in UFC. He made his professional boxing debut on 26th of February, and he knocked out his opponent in 46 seconds.
Okay, Dylan Andrews, Wellington.
Yeah, he's originally from Wellington. He actually lives in Melbourne now. He used to be a UFC fighter, first New Zealander to become a UFC fighter. And yeah, he made his professional boxing debut against Bruce Iveen. I don't know much about Bruce Iveen. He could be in New Zealand. They haven't actually looked into him.
Yeah, a bit of a late start though at 42.
Well, you know, he's already been a professional fighter. He's been in the UFC. So
what's his UFC record?
That's a good question. Shall we look it up?
Yeah, sure, dog.
Oh no, I just use Wikipedia. 18 wins, 11 losses, 1 no contest. So yeah.
Okay, so he's making his boxing debut.
Making his boxing debut. I don't know what his intentions in boxing.
I mean, he's made his boxing debut.
Yeah, here's some exhibitions as well. I don't know what his intentions are with boxing. This could be like a serious thing. This could be a temporary thing. This could be a one-off. Or he might be like fully invested into it. So, you know, and yeah, he's made the country proud already, knocking someone out in 46 seconds. Last thing for tonight, we've got Demsey Mckean. Demsey Mckean. So I want to cover Demsey Mckean because he is an interest for us. He is I see him as a future opponent for Joseph Parker for Junior Far, Hemia Hio, and a possible rematch with Kikiko Latali, because I found that an interesting fight. So I'm keeping an eye on Demsey Mckean and see how his career is going. He just recently came off a win. He went the full 8 rounds on the undercard for the World Cruiserweight title.
Oh, that's a big card.
Yeah, it is a big card. Oh, you know, Eddie Hearn, usual big card. Oh, look, there's a Joseph Parker former opponent right there, Daniel Martz, who knocked him out. He knocked Daniel Martz out in the first round. Was quite a heavy knockout as well. Anyway, Demsey Mckean, he won all rounds. I mean, it's great he got that win. I'd love to see him do more in the future. Only thing is, I wish that he knocked him out, because like, you want to make an impression on the world stage. That's only my one and only thing, I guess. Yeah, what do you think of Demsey Mckean? Have you seen much of him?
Well, yes, I've heard about him. I know he fought Kiki Toa Latelli.
Yes.
I saw Kiki train for that. You know, he was doing sparring rounds with David Lyth, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I've heard of him. Like, you know, I definitely this seems like a future opponent for Joseph Parker, Junior
Hio,
Fa.
Junior
Yeah,
Fa.
yeah. You know, it would love to see that. And plus, you know, it has that trans-specific competition, so it should be good.
Yeah, and also like I actually made his Wikipedia page, and I did like a very small one. He contacted me back later on to ask me if I could expand it, so I did. You know, as I generally do. Demsey Mckean.
Was he grateful by any chance that you?
Oh no, he's very grateful.
Yeah?
Like
How's he
he was
seem?
very, very grateful.
Okay.
Nice guy, honestly nice guy.
Yo,
like
send him an email back.
Ask
Ask him for an interview, man.
I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like he'll be grateful. He's in the UK at the moment training.
We could do a quick Zoom one.
Yeah, quick Zoom. We could do that. So yeah. So
look at that. That's a good record, man. Look at that.
I created this Wikipedia page, so you know. Line here. He's actually sparred with Anthony Joshua. He's sparred with Dillian White. So he's been in those camps, and not just that. For us, we know Kiki Toa-Latelli, Jonathan Rice, who actually climbed the ranks. He's I think 50th in the world, no 46th in the world now. I think he was ranked higher at one point. He's defeated a lot of good Australians. Patrick, and I'm not going to even attempt to say that his last name. I apologize again. But you know, he's a quite good, rough boxer himself. He won his because he originally won the interim Australian title off Hunter Sam, and then fought a New Zealand Australian, as we all know, Will Nasio. He won the full Australian title off him. Yeah. And you know, we all know this guy right here.
Oh,
we all know him.
And yeah, that's I thought I saw a name I recognized then. I was like, surely not.
Yeah, he defeated him in the finals of their 8-man, and on top of that, he defeated Elijah, who
okay, look, I need to take back what I said. Okay, so he has fought. Okay.
He's fought some good names,
and he beat him as well. Okay, so 3 rounds as well. Okay. Yeah, and you know, I mean, Ty, didn't he finish Derek Lewis in like the 2nd round? So, I mean, he is a dangerous opponent, and he's gone 3 rounds plus he's beaten. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And the 8-man heavyweight tournaments that happens quite regularly there in Melbourne. So
did Ty Tuivasa? Can I look at Ty Tuivasa's record? Like, who was he for?
This is his boxing. This is a boxing record, and Ty Tuivasa mostly
and he's lost twice. Okay.
He only fought in professional boxing as a contender in that 8-man. So I think he fought twice and a one-off over here as well. So.
Okay.
So he fought in a quarterfinal, which he won by disqualification. Fought in a semi-final, which he won by knockout against Will Nasio here, as we know him as New Zealander who became Australian champion, and then lost in the final. Then he did. Then he participated again, won by TKO, won by.
This is way back. Okay, this is back in 2016.
So 14, 16, and yeah.
Yeah, this guy's a KO artist. Like,
yes. All right, so yeah, that's what's what with Benji, and alongside the one and only Josh. All right, that is what's what for this week. Coming up next week, we have no idea because we never pre-plan anything, but stay tuned to see what happens next week.